Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Love Island cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's lovely to speak to you again about a bit of Love Island. So where do you want to start today?
Well, Dave, let's start with the guy who looks suspiciously like a Finlay rip-off, Jamie, who's come in and sort of took a couple of the girls out on the dates.
And no one's called him out, actually, have they, that he looks quite like Finn? But I tell you what, Chris, someone else came into my mind. So one of our good friends and fellow podcasters, Mike Burton from the Genuine Chit Chat, he came in and I had to do a bit of a double take on Jamie. And obviously when he starts speaking, he's Scottish. But yeah, I thought it was Mike for a moment there.
Yeah, well... Nobody knows who Mike is. We're going to have to tag Mike on this episode because
he's never ever going to watch Love Island. But I have to say, ladies, he is coupled up. He's happily coupled up there. He is he does look quite like Jamie, I think. And I tell you what, massive Star Wars nerd. So, an absolute catch. I think you'll agree, Chris.
What, for me and you? Maybe not for the ladies, Dave. Star Wars geeks ourselves, yeah, maybe so.
The guy knows everything pretty much that's been written in comics about Star Wars. But yeah, anyway, enough about Mike and a plug for his Genuine Chit Chat show there. So I tell you what I found interesting, Chris. I mean, I'd said yesterday I was bored of the Shauna thing now. And although I can kind of empathize and I get that she's still hurting a bit, it's quite unattractive to keep just sniping at Callum. And you know what else is not a great tactic, I don't think, is to go into a first date and just constantly talk about your ex.
Yeah. And I was quite shocked she did that. Obviously, Jamie's watched it. He's got a bit of foresight. Like I said, he's going to have been worded up what to say. If he hasn't been worded up, doesn't take a genius, even for the edited 1 hour we get, what Shauna likes and dislikes. And she fucking hates scaffolders, Dave, because I didn't realise when Callum said it to Molly that her ex before Callum was a scaffolder. So Ched's a scaffolder. So she's got 3 in there, 2 are scaffolders and that. And then it was like, you're not a scaffolder. And I'm like, wow, she has been burned big time by scaffolders. But Dave, what did she...
Sorry, I'm just going to break off into a little anecdote here. So one of my absolute best mates, I've known him since I was about 18 and we drift apart for a few years, come back and it's like we've never been apart. And he was telling me, I think he was in Bulgaria or somewhere like that, somewhere that's out of the, comfort zone. And he ends up going to a bit of a nudie bar, for a bit of a, bit of a lap dance and whatever, Chris. I don't know what these places are like, but apparently they exist. And so he gets shaken down by the bouncers. Oh, no. So that was it. So the girl comes up to him and then starts talking to him and stuff. And he says he's just there with his friend. Yeah, all right. But anyway, so... and this isn't me, by the way.
Was he called Stave, was he, or something? Or...
Wade.
Yeah.
No, so this girl apparently starts talking, can you buy me a drink and whatever. And then the bouncer comes up with the bill, and it's about 100 quid or something daft like that. He's like, I'm not paying that. Well, of course he gets shaken down a bit, doesn't he? Frog march to the cash points. And he's telling us this story. And it's when he's telling it, and he goes, I can't believe this happened to me again. And I was like, what? I'm like, you fucking idiot. What do you mean again? Surely this is a one-time thing. You do it once and that's it. You're done. You don't do it again. And so anyway, the reason for telling that story is, Shauna has obviously been burned by the whole scaffolder thing, but then just still goes for exactly the same type. And as Einstein said, it's the height of idiocy, the definition of idiocy, to do exactly the same thing and expect a different outcome. So yeah, I still, I still kind of like Shauna, but I do think she's bugging me a bit just these last few days. Just if you're going to continue on the show, you kind of need to get on with it and forget and just stop sniping at Callum.
No, exactly, Dave. I want to know, Dave, how much did your overdraft cost when you got home?
I think Wade was all right in the
end. I fucking bet he was, Dave. I bet he was. No, I've got to say, Dave, we have had a few emails today and we'll get into them. But Terence did mention on Twitter to us regarding Luke M, which we'd said about Terence's comment. Is the common denominator not Luke? And we can't take credit for that. It was something Terence has said and had us both thinking, fucking hell, Dave, talk about fucking lightning, not just striking twice, it's striking 3, 4, 5 times. I honestly don't know what it is about him. And he was right to question, because Demi's leaving her options open because of what Naz did to her. And I get it. She's been burnt. She can't completely close that door on Jamie because he did send her on a date and stuff. I understand that. But then she planted the lips on him straight away. And I was like, right. And even Luke's going to Shanice and Luke T. Like, I honestly don't know what's going on here. Signals.
Yeah.
And I think I might have mentioned it before on this podcast, but Luke M reminds me of this sketch on, I remember it as a kid, it was on Monty Python, and a bloke goes to the doctors and his girlfriend, I think I mentioned on it, he's absolutely stunning, proper like the old school carry-on looking girl. She's probably got, I can't remember right, she had mini skirt on, high heels.
Windsor.
No, she didn't have the pointy, no, she didn't have the pointy boobs there. But I remember the sketch, I think it was John Cleese or somebody was the doctor, and he comes in with his wife, and the doctor's like, can you stay out there, please, while I examine your wife? And obviously, the guy's doing more than just examining his wife. And you can hear her squealing and making noises, and he's trying to go in, and the doctor's going, no. And do you remember when they used to have the big punch come down and just squash somebody because they're being stupid, and it comes down and punches them? And that's what it looks like with Luke M. It's as if to say, he's like standing there where all these guys are having a crack at the girls he's got, and he's like, oh, right, okay, yeah, no problem. I respect that. I respect it, but I think in some respects, Demi might want him to fight for a. He's too passive, unfortunately. He's a great lad, and there's plenty of support from him online. I think he's a really, really nice lad, and he's got, made a lovely breakfast for her and Shanice, and then they were like, this is amazing. And even Luke T's going, well, actually, I didn't cook anything. Did you pour that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that.
Did you do anything? No.
Turned up because Shanice is my girlfriend. I'm taking the credit, and Luke M's there. Poor lad slaving over this. I mean, the only thing I'd say about the breakfast is I kept thinking, and Sam said to me, it must be fucking cold the amount of time it's took. It's a massive villa, isn't it? This, by the time they'd got that a lovely gesture. So I think the Luke M thing, there is something there, because he's just too passive for me, and he gives up too easy, unfortunately.
I think he's just a bit unlucky as well, because he's catching Demi just on that rebound, really, from Naz. She never really had full closure on that Naz situation. So I think, that is kind of dictating her behaviour from here. But you kind of just want to give him a shake, don't you? And she knows she fucked up with the kiss, and you just sort of say, just go over and just say, look, honestly, I don't know why I did that. I understand that it's mixed signals and all that, and I just did it. It was a bit stupid. You just wanted to say that, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Can you be too nice? I mean, evidence suggests you can. So, he's just this nice guy who's going to end up voted out the villa pretty soon. But I tell you what, Chris, I picked up on something else. So earlier on in the episode, when, Naz is saying his goodbyes, and I couldn't help but feel like, maybe he thought that he'd messed up a little bit and the public don't like him anymore or something like that. But Natalia, when she's talking to Luke M, because it still baffles me a bit that Naz and Eva got voted out and Luke M and Natalia are still there. But she says to Luke M that, well, you're getting on with Demi and whatever, and maybe she can give you something I can't. And I thought that statement, it makes it sound like she's hard done to or something. Yeah. And he's just like, he's turned his attentions away. And again, I do want to reach through the screen and say, Luke, just fucking tell it how it is. You fucked us off. So what is this conversation about? Are you trying to snuggle up for a friendship couple or something? Is that what you're gearing for? But honestly, Chris, every word that comes out of Natalia's mouth, I don't trust right now, because she's got some kind of game plan. A game plan was to get into the villa. Okay, tick, we've done that now. What's your game plan from here? But I thought I must admit, it wound me up that she twisted it around that way and made it
Yeah.
sound like Luke was doing something wrong.
Yeah, because she was. I am with you on that. It was very bizarre, and like I've said, I'm sticking to what I said, Dave. She knows she's fucked up. She should have kept that relationship going on, and unfortunately, she has exposed herself as a typical Love Islander who basically was just going to go in there to get the little deals and get a bit of cash and all that stuff. She's just made herself look stupid. So at the end of the day, fair fucks to her, but she's getting voted out pretty goddamn soon, Dave, because I've seen nothing yet, unless that happens in tomorrow's episode with Jamie. So she's pretty much dangling on a tightrope at the moment. So you're totally right. And leading on to that, Dave, we've got these the leading on day, we've got the emails, and we've had quite a few overnight as well. No, we haven't. We've had quite a few today, Dave. So just wanted to start off. First one's from Denise. It's just put, the show is doing my head in. I'm 100% confused by this game show now. Is the objective for the Islanders to couple with someone they are attracted to, or for them to guess who the viewers want them to be with? I don't get why Naz was made the bad guy for choosing to be with Eva. Under the circumstances, if he felt a better connection. They're being punished by viewers for not staying with a person they don't click with. What the hell is this? Endless. Callum is the devil for not opting to fake relationship for the viewers. I guarantee the producers are setting up a get Callum punishment plot by making Molly go cold on him. Denise, Brooklyn in the house, Dave. So I think she's right. You'll see the switch of Molly at some point. You know what it's like. You get these ridiculous switches, don't you, from nowhere. So maybe Denise is right. Maybe that's going to come. And I think that is through pure Love Island muscle memory, to be honest. It plays up 101 to what usually happens at some point.
Yeah, yeah. And I do think, like say, I guess the randomness of how they get voted out, that's the only variable. Like most of the games and everything, they keep all the same, don't they? And
Yeah.
I've said they should shake it up a bit, but just who they get rid of the villa, sometimes they'll have a bottom couple, and then they say, the Islanders can choose someone to save, and so only two people leave. In this last case, we had four people leave, and there was nothing on the Islanders at all there. Again, because they replayed it again at the start of the episode, didn't they? I think after you pointed it out, it winds me up. The shock on everyone's faces when someone gets voted out. It's like if you were playing a game of football and then the final whistle goes. It's like,
Yeah.
The final whistle's gone. I can't believe it. Yeah, that's the fucking game. That's what you're playing. So I don't know. Some great points in there.
There is, Dave. Now, Dave, I'm not even going to tell you sent this email. I'm just going to tell you the title, and it simply says, Natalia can fuck off, Dave. I mean, any guesses?
That's got to be Kayla.
It is indeed. Natalia with her, if she gives you something I couldn't, shut the fuck up. Such a boring clown with foundation 2 shades too dark. As much as I feel for Luken, I'm glad Demi didn't close herself off to Jamie. She's learned from her mistake with Naz. Hopefully she picks Luken, but I am hoping for now is that Jamie picks Molly. Fucking finally, the Twitter game is back. I've noticed a lot of people on Twitter getting upset with Shauna about Mike. I haven't liked Mike this entire series. He continues to be creepy, cringy, and tells every girl the same corny lines. I'm excited for Twitter to rip him apart. The queen of emails, Kayla. She's definitely the queen, Dave.
Nice. And I should probably read these emails before we record as well. So I don't bring up the same points. But yeah, she's right. And I think, I think it was before Casa Amor that Twitter started to explode a bit. And I found a lot of it quite toxic and just try and stay away from that toxicity. I don't need that in my life. I'm sure you don't. But when you have these splits and when you have that drama. So last year it all started, didn't it? It was Danny really when he switched from Yewande to Arabella, was it?
Yeah.
that, and then, you know, you had Anna and Amber and everyone kicking off. And then you saw just Twitter just explode and people taking up their various positions. So we haven't really seen too much of that. But I've got a feeling, Chris, tomorrow, you know, we are going to see something else, because the old, you know, tomorrow night, it looks like they're going to see the headlines, and can see Mike's really not happy, you know, with the old, it's not a game or whatever. And he sat next to Callum, so I don't know if it's about Mike or if it's about Callum, but clearly something's going off there. So I think Kelly's right. I think you might start to see, you know, people taking up their different positions, and then this person's right, no, this person's right, and you know what my perspective is on it, Chris. They're all a bunch of bastards. It's just different. It's just different degrees, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's how much you're going to sell yourself for that fucking bit of fame, I think. Now, the next one, Dave, is from Lauren, one of our regular emailers. And she put, geez, can Luke Bieber catch a break? I have to say, I'm slightly underwhelmed since the boys came back from Casa Amor. Poor Luke M. I think you guys may have a bit of a point with him being the common denominator in why his couples have failed. Terrence gets the credit for that, but she's right. Maybe he's not all that interesting, but he seems super sweet. I really have no idea what is going on with Demi. She's the queen of mixed signals, kissing him after she still wants to get to know the new guy. I'm now more hoping for a kick-off between Jamie and Callum, with Jamie telling Callum off. Although I don't agree with Jamie thinking Naz went about it the right way, he still ended up leaving Demi for someone who essentially got them voted off the villa. Shauna, I'm sort of bored now. She needs to find a guy who suits her, or what's the point, really? Does she really like Jamie, or is it just because he's the only option? I feel like heads are turning for Jamie. It would be insane if Molly ended up going for him. That's the drama I want and need from the show, and I've got to say, Lauren, I totally agree. Glad Rebecca is finally gone, and I saw Eva and Naz come in. She's not into it on the outside. Eva's expressions was cringe indeed. Cheers from the US, and keep up the great show, Lauren. It's another good email, Dave.
It's another good one, yeah, and absolutely. Oh, can you imagine that if Jamie went for Molly and Molly like actually had a connection? Because you could see, couldn't you? I think it was Luke T was saying, you know, you've got to come in here and step on toes, and Callum's like, no. You just leave him. Like, Natalia's free. Go and speak to her. So yeah, that spice things up definitely.
It would. And the last email I've had from Kelly, and she's just said, hi, a few thoughts on Love Island podcast. Hi, Chris and David. Just want to say, first of all, how much I love this podcast. You used to absolutely crack me up, and I love how refreshingly honest your opinions on the Islanders are. You seem to have such a laugh doing the podcast, and it really shows. If there's any benefit to 2 Love Island series a year, it's more of this show. A few thoughts on last night's episode. Poor Luke Bieber can't seem to catch a break. Him and Demi seem like a great match, but Finn 2.0 might throw a spanner in the works. Luke seems like a lovely guy, and Demi seems to bring out his personality. If all else fails, he can hopefully just couple up with Luke T as friends, and they win, as they seem to be the couple with the most chemistry anyway. A few people have said that, as you know. Shauna will hopefully get together with Jamie and move on from Callum. Not that I'm Callum's biggest fan, but I'm sick of Shauna complaining about him, making snide comments. There's a new guy who seems to be interested in her. Hopefully it works out. Overall, I thought the episode was a little bit dull, but I cannot bloody wait for the inevitable drama that the tweet challenge will bring. There's no way Mike can come out unscathed, and I can't wait. All the best, Kelly from Ireland. So another great email. And Dave, I just want to say one thing. The story I told yesterday, the Fonzarelli touch story. So our good friend Agnes on Twitter had tagged me and saying she was laughing her head off at that story. It was all true. Well, I did actually forget to tell Samantha because she hasn't had time to catch up on the podcast. And when we were in bed last night, I was within elbow reach, and she went, "The fucking story have you been telling?" So I said, "Remember the Fonzarelli one?" She did laugh, Dave, and I was so happy. So, Agnes, I have not blocked you from ever doing that again to me. But she did laugh. I was like, all right. So, play it for me. I was thinking, no, I don't want to play it for you. I'll just tell you the outline of the story.
Not while you're in striking distance.
No, Dave, I'm telling you, the right arm was ready to unleash hell. So, no. But that was genuinely true. So, guys, like all the emails we've had today, at Love Island Cast on Twitter. And obviously, like Agnes, if you love anything in the show, then give us a follow on there. Or if you want to email in, the loveislandcast@gmail.com. Fantastic. If you want a review, guys, get a review on your podcast catching app and just get us up there. We're trying to catch the official Love Island cast, and we're still number one in the Jamaican iTunes charts. We want to be number one in the UK. So spread the word, guys, and thank you for all the support and all the laughs. I'm so pleased that everyone's enjoying the show like me and Dave do. So Dave, great episode. Thank you so much again, my friend, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Bye now.